Deep in the heart of the Congo rainforest, where towering trees kissed the sky and rivers murmured ancient secrets, a tale of wit and humility unfolded. The jungle teemed with life. Birds wove songs into the wind, unseen creatures rustled in the undergrowth, and golden sunlight filtered through the emerald canopy, painting the world in shifting patterns of light and shadow. Amidst this thriving wilderness lived two creatures as different as night and day. The leopard, sleek and powerful, and the tortoise, small and unassuming. The leopard was the undisputed ruler of the forest, his golden coat a blur of speed and strength. He was feared and admired in equal measure, but his pride was his greatest flaw. He believed that might and swiftness made him superior to all others. The tortoise, on the other hand, was slow and steady. He did not boast or seek attention. Instead, he observed, he learned, and he understood that true power wasn't always measured in muscle and speed. Their paths rarely crossed, but fate had a lesson to teach, the kind that would echo through the jungle for generations to come. One morning, as dawn's golden fingers stretched across the forest, the leopard strode into a clearing where the animals had gathered. His muscles rippled beneath his spotted coat, his every movement exuding confidence. "Look upon me," the leopard declared, his voice carrying through the trees. With an effortless leap, he landed atop a high rock, his tail flicking in triumph. "I am the fastest and strongest in this jungle. None can outrun me, and none dare challenge my might." The animals exchanged glances. Some clapped hesitantly, others nodded out of fear. The monkeys chattered nervously, while the antelope avoided his gaze altogether. Only one creature remained unimpressed. From the edge of the clearing, the tortoise stepped forward, his movements deliberate and unhurried. He lifted his head, meeting the leopard's fiery gaze with calm eyes. "Leopard," he said in a measured voice, "your speed and strength are undeniable. But power alone does not make one great. Sometimes, a sharp mind can overcome even the strongest of bodies." A hush fell over the jungle. The animals turned to the leopard, waiting for his reaction. The big cat's golden eyes gleamed with amusement. "Are you saying your mind is sharper than my claws, Tortoise?" he growled. "Shall we put that claim to the test?" The tortoise gave a slow nod. "I propose a race, from the riverbank to the great baobab tree on the hill. But to make it fair, we will each carry a burden. I will carry a small stone, and you shall carry this basket of fruit." Gasps rippled through the crowd. A race between the slowest and the fastest? It was absurd. And yet, there was something about the tortoise's quiet confidence that made them hesitate. The leopard let out a deep chuckle. "A race against you? Very well. But do not expect mercy." That night, under the silver glow of the moon, the tortoise gathered his family beneath the whispering trees. His voice was calm but firm. "The leopard is swift," he said, "but his pride blinds him. We will use that against him. Each of you will take a place along the race path. When he rounds a bend, one of you will appear ahead, making him believe I have surpassed him." His brothers and sisters nodded, their shells gleaming in the moonlight. With quiet determination, they slipped into the darkness, taking their positions before dawn. By morning, the jungle buzzed with anticipation. The leopard arrived at the starting point, stretching his powerful legs. The tortoise stood nearby, his small stone resting on his back, his expression unreadable. The signal was given. The leopard exploded forward, his basket of fruit bouncing lightly on his back. Within seconds, he was a golden streak vanishing into the jungle. The tortoise, true to his nature, moved slowly, placing one foot in front of the other with quiet determination. The leopard's confidence soared as he raced ahead, the wind rushing through his fur. This was no competition. It was a mere formality. But then, as he rounded a bend, he skidded to a stop. There, ahead of him, was the tortoise. His jaw tightened. How was this possible? Shaking off his confusion, he'd surged forward, pushing past the tortoise in a blur of speed. Yet, each time he paused for breath, the same thing happened. Just as he thought he had left the tortoise behind, he would round another bend and find him ahead once more. Unbeknownst to him, it was not the same tortoise each time, but another, cleverly positioned along the route. The race wore on, and the leopard's strides grew heavier. The basket of fruit, so light at first, now felt like a mountain on his back. His breath came in ragged gasps, but his pride drove him onward. As he neared the great baobab tree, his legs burned with exhaustion. The cheers of the forest animals reached his ears, urging him to finish. But to his horror, the tortoise was already there. Lounging in the shade of the mighty tree, he looked up as the leopard stumbled to a halt, the basket slipping from his back. How did you do it?" the leopard panted, his voice a mix of rage and awe. The tortoise smiled, his eyes gleaming with quiet wisdom. "Speed and strength are admirable, leopard," he said, "but they are not everything. With cleverness and preparation, even the slowest among us can achieve the impossible." The animals erupted into cheers, celebrating the tortoise's victory. The leopard, humbled, bowed his head. For the first time, he saw the folly of his arrogance. From that day forward, he no longer boasted of his power or looked down upon the others. Instead, he learned to respect their unique talents, knowing that true strength lies not just in speed and might, but in wisdom, patience, and humility. And so the story of the race became legend, passed down through the generations,